Okay, let's get started. So, welcome to this series called Discover Yourself, Overview of Bhagavad Gita. Last week we completed the topic Search for Happiness. We figured out that happiness in the material world is flickering happiness. You can get some amount of happiness. You're happy for some time, you're not happy the other time. So it's flickering. But the intrinsic nature of the jiva is to look for that long-lasting happiness. If you work very hard and build your own home, it's natural to think that you want to live in that home forever. So it is the intrinsic nature of the jiva to be happy permanently, eternally, to experience this long-lasting bliss. But the problem is we are looking for that long-lasting peace and happiness in this temporary material world in a wrong way and in a wrong place. This material world is designed to be dukkhalayam ashashvatam, a place of miseries, and it's temporary. So when we are in a world like that, which is by design a place of miseries, and when we are looking for permanent happiness, that means we are looking for a wrong thing in a wrong place in a wrong way. Okay, to put it in one sentence, it's like this: we are looking for a wrong thing in a wrong place in a wrong way. And we started doing the root cause analysis of it. As part of this RCA, we started analyzing that if there are problems in my life, or if there are problems in the world, in general, there are many problems in the world. There are different types of problems that we discussed in the last two sessions. Problems created by one's own body and mind, adhyatmika. Problems created by other living entities, adi bhautika. Problems created by material nature, adi daivika. So when there are problems like this, the first thought that comes to our mind is, why is God so cruel? Why is God so cruel? And we start blaming on God. So that's how we concluded the last topic, saying that probably God is the root cause of all these problems. So we started with that speculation that perhaps God is the root cause of these problems. So let's understand if God is really the root cause of those problems. Now, in order to understand if God is the root cause of these problems, first we need to know if God exists or not. If at all there is this personality called God, if at all there exists this entity called God, then only we can blame on that entity, right? That, hey, why are you so cruel? Why have you created so many problems like this? So before we do our actual RCA of the actual problem, let's try to understand if God exists or not. Okay, so that's our topic for today. And if you all can turn on your video, that'll be great, so that we can see each other and it'll be more interactive. We're not looking at black boxes. So I request everybody to turn on the videos if possible. to move this guy here. So welcome to session 2 of Discover Yourself series, Discovering the Root. Does God exist? You can think of this like a subtopic within the main topic, Discovering the Root. Discovering the root or the root cause analysis is the main topic for session 2. Within that, does God exist is a subtopic. If we understand the subtopic, then we will be able to understand the main topic without discussing the main topic separately. We'll see how it is possible. Okay. So let me ask you a question. How many of you believe that God exists?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Nishta, what about you?
Yeah, myself as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ankit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
God exists. Okay. Shiva, what about you?
Yes, Prabhuji, he should exist. Otherwise, so many things still in order. So someone must be controlling it,
Okay.
like sun, moon, all other things. Then whether on time it comes. So we don't know. Someone should be there to control them.
Okay. Very good. So looks like you have got darshan of God already.
If I had, I'll not be here. I'll go to him. Yeah.
Okay.
Haribol.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there was a small joke or small story about this question: does God exist? Or how many of you believe that God exists? Or how many of you believe that God does not exist? So once in a village, all the people in the village, they wanted to invite a monk and have some discourse. So they go to a nearby place where a monk resides and invite him to the village to come and give a discourse. The monk agrees. So one fine day, the monk comes to the village, and there are about 1,000 people sitting in the open ground, and the monk has been given a nice asana to sit on and give a discourse. The monk began his discourse with a question: raise your hand if you believe in God. Then everybody raised their hands. All the 1,000 people, everybody raised their hands. Then the monk said, I have come here to speak on this topic, that God exists. Does God exist? But all of you already believe in God. You already believe that God exists. So then there is no point in me speaking anything on this topic, does God exist? And then the monk went away. And all the villagers, they are disappointed. So they all had some brainstorming session among themselves. And then they thought, we should call this monk again. And then this time, when the monk asked this question, we will not raise our hands. Then after a month or so, they again go to the monk and invite him to come and give a discourse. The monk agrees. And then the monk begins his discourse by asking the same question. Raise your hand if you believe that God exists. And this time, there is some preparation, right? All the villagers, they are prepared. They are prepared to, to say some clever thing. And this time, none of them raise their hands, which means they don't believe in the existence of God, so that they can hear from the monk. Then the monk says, I have come here to speak on the topic, does God exist? But if all of you don't believe in God, then what's the point in me speaking about God? And then he walks away again. And then the villagers are disappointed again. And they have one more brainstorming session. So this time they make a decision that we will invite the monk again, third time. But this time, half of the people we will raise their hands, the other half we will not raise their hands. So the plan is made, and then after a month they invite the monk again. The monk comes to the village. Again, he begins the discourse by asking the same question, the very popular question. Does God exist? How many raise your hand if you believe in the fact that God exists? Then this time, as per the previous plan, half of the people raise their hands, the other half, they don't raise their hands. Then this monk, looking at the people who raise their hands, saying that they believe in the existence of God, the monk says, all those people who raised their hands and said that they believe in the existence of God, you educate the other half of the people who don't believe in the existence of God. And then he walks away again. So like that, our faith in God is questionable. Just like how the faith of these villagers expressed their opinion about the existence of God, our faith on God is also questionable. Even though we say that we believe in the existence of God, but when we are asked by, let's say, a person from a different religion to speak about our God, if we believe in God, that means we should be able to say few words about our God. Or if the person from other religion, he challenges us to prove the existence of God. Or if a person from other religion, he challenges us and asks some intriguing questions about the existence of God, or how does God look like, where does he reside, what are his qualities. If he starts asking questions like this, then our faith will be shaken. Our faith will be shaken and we will end up joining the other party. We will end up joining the other party. It's a common fact, a well-known fact, that people from religions like Islam, Christianity, or even Jewish people, they read their scripture thoroughly. In fact, many of them, they read their scripture almost every day, and they educate their children about it. They talk about it openly. They discuss within the family. They discuss within the schools. They do it in a big time. Their faith is very strong. You go and talk to any Christian or any Islamic person. Whatever they read from their scriptures, they are very strong about it. That's why you see, even in America, the girls who go to high school, college, the Muslim girls, they wear burqa. Now, where is this conviction coming from? Whereas if you see girls from other religions, the Hindu girls, even though they were born and brought up in India and came to America after some time, they have forgotten this culture of traditional attire and all those things. But Muslims, no matter where they reside, where they live, They don't deviate from this. That means from the childhood, they have been given this education very thoroughly, very strongly. The parents have built up so much faith and conviction in their children. Now, what their scriptures are teaching, what they are talking about, and what are the details of God and religion, and what's the relationship between Jiva and God according to their scriptures, that's a different story altogether. Whether that is bona fide or not, whether that is authentic, real or not, that's a different story. But whatever they read, whatever they teach to their children, it's very strong. It's very strong. So in fact, a real incident that happened to one of my friends actually. So my friend's family, they have been living in Oman for a very long time. So my friend, when he was born in Oman actually. The parents moved from India, from Tamil Nadu to Oman very, very long time ago. And then all the neighbors of my friend's family, they are Muslims. So they're Muslims, but they're all good friends with this Hindu family, who is my friend, especially the parents of my friend. And every day they all used to have some discussion. In the evening after work, they used to have some discussion, some general talk, and then slowly the discussion started about religion, God, scriptures, etc. Then during those discussions, the Islamic people, they were able to tell many things about their religion, their scriptures, their God. They were able to tell everything effortlessly. And then they asked the father of my friend to tell about the Hindu God, Hindu scriptures, the Hindu faith. Unfortunately, the father of my friend, he did not have anything to say. He did not have anything to say. And fortunately, that became a turning point in his life. And he started thinking about very seriously. He felt ashamed that he was not able to utter a single word about Hindu God, Hindu religion, the scriptures. So he took that as an opportunity and started reading Bhagavad Gita very seriously. He started attending some classes and read Bhagavad Gita by himself. And then he started acquiring knowledge. So do you all agree with this observation that I had? That it's this habit or this practice of cultivating spiritual knowledge, especially about Bhagavad Gita or about the Supreme God, whether it is Krishna, Rama, or anyone, Vishnu, Shiva. The knowledge is lacking in the society. Do you all agree with this? We all
100%.
yeah.
Same question my baby Bhavyasri was asking me other day. Daddy, because we believe in Bhagavad Gita, we say Krishna is God, right? But Muslims, they believe in Quran and they say their whatever they believe, he is God. And Christians say Jesus is God. Then who is the real God? She was asking me.
Yeah.
Do we have these many gods? Who is the real God? Is it just that everyone is thinking their own God? How do we believe? She was asking me.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good discussion. I'm confident that I'm going to get the answer
Okay.
to answer her
That's good.
out of this discussion. Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Thanks.
yeah. So before we even, uh, you know, are able to answer that question that why there are many gods, people who are practicing Islamic religion, they say there is one God. Hindus who are practicing, we say there is one God or many gods actually. And Christians, they have belief in another God. Are there many gods or is God only one? Before we can answer those questions, fundamentally, we should be able to speak at least a few words about our own religion, our own faith, uh, our own God in which our scriptures believe. So that's why it's very, very important to cultivate this knowledge about who God is, does God exist, and who God is, and who am I, what's my relationship with God, and many things like this. Okay, so so in the last session, we started discussing the story of four wives, and we started discussing differences and similarities between human beings and animals. And we understood how there are so many problems in the world. There are real problems and relative problems. We gave a definition for real problem. Animals, they're always focused on four things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Whereas human beings, they have been given a special prerogative of inquiring the absolute truth. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Since we have taken human birth, inquire into the absolute truth. Okay? So, when, when it comes to understanding things in this world, there are two approaches, right? Faith and reasoning. Oftentimes, people believe that the scriptures that talk about God, they impose faith on people, or religion, God, spiritual knowledge. Topics like this, they are purely based on faith. We need to keep our faith and understand and accept those facts. Whereas science, whereas it's a belief by people in the society that science is purely based on reasoning, questioning, reasoning, logic, etc. But let's pause for a second and understand: is this a fact? Is this true or not? Does
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So does
Yeah.
science always uh, depend on reasoning, logic, and questioning?
Yeah. Mostly, I think what I have seen and observed is it is very logical and rational oriented when we study science. that how Earth started or how the human body or things work, and
Yeah.
which are not yet explored either through R&D or research yet, we
Mhm.
leave it to God. So I
Mhm.
think if I have studied history over last 100 years, flashback to 100 years before it, more, there could be more God quotient. But today it's like since science has evolved, some of those areas are scientific and more logical as we are doing the research. So I
Mm.
will agree to that extent. Srini,
Okay.
thank you.
Or let me ask you another question. Is there no room for faith in science? Is it completely reasoning, logic, questioning, and there's no room for faith? There's no scope for faith in science?
No, no, of course there is. In fact, that is the premise of science, that the sun exists, and then you start the research. Why
Yeah,
is it hot? How is it generating heat?
yeah,
But the owner, you have to have faith that some super existence or God or something started that heat. So that's the research. So it all starts with the premise of faith, from my perspective. I
yeah,
just took one example, but anything actually.
yeah, yeah. So even though uh, even though we are talking about God, but when it comes to science, uh, things that are not related to God uh, are also based on faith. For example, if a scientist tells you that the distance, if a scientist tells you that sun is moving at a speed of 13,000 miles per second, we just believe that, right? We don't even question. We put our complete faith in that. Our scientists, whatever they discover, huh, everything starts with faith. They speculate about something, and then they believe that that is they start with the belief that that is correct. Whatever they are speculating, it is correct. And then they come up with a formula. There is a formula, and then experiment, and then conclusion. But everything starts with faith in the beginning. Even in science, where everything is completely dependent on reasoning, questioning, logic, there also the foundational thing is faith. Scientists have faith in everything that they are experimenting. And then, of course, there is a process to verify and conclude things one way or the other. Uh, but there is a there is a great dependency on faith, even science. and and another misconception that people have in the society, that now let's move on to the left side now, right? Now we talk a little bit about the science, which is on the right side of this slide here. On the left side of the slide, it's about God, religion. It's a misconception in the society that God, religion, scriptures are completely based on faith, or the correct word to use is blind faith. There is no possibility of verifying things by following a process. There is no scientific process to verify things here. No, that's not true. Just like how in science everything starts with faith, and then there is a process, there is a formula uh, or postulate, right? Scientists write some theory or postulate, and then they 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 conduct an experiment and come up with a conclusion. Similarly, in religion also, they start with faith, but there is a process to there's a process to verify things here also. So it's completely scientific. It's completely scientific. Just like in science, there is a laboratory where you conduct experiments. In religion also, there's a different type of laboratory where you conduct experiments. You follow a certain process, you conduct experiments, and you come up with conclusions. So it's not blind faith. There is faith both in science and in religion, but the misconception in the society is that people who are following religion, or people who believe in God, or people who practice bhakti, devotion, people who go to temples, they have blind faith. No, that's not true. So we'll discuss more about these things. Yes, Rohan.
Yeah. Prabhuji, can you give an example of not having blind faith? What is the process? How they validate on the God side or the devotion side? Thank you.
On the God side. Okay. So one simple example is, for example, if the scriptures are saying that cow dung is antiseptic. Okay, I mean, not talking about God here, but I'm just giving an example what is mentioned in the scriptures. In the scriptures, it is mentioned that cow dung is antiseptic. So you start with faith, and then there's a process to verify if that is correct or not. So what is the process to verify? You bring cow dung, you put that in some water, or you mix cow dung with some water, and then you sprinkle that in the courtyard, in the front yard or backyard, wherever, and then you observe for a few days whether the cow dung is exhibiting antiseptic, antibacterial qualities or not. So it was a common practice in the olden days to sprinkle water mixed with cow dung in the front courtyard, so that no mosquitoes, no insects, no bacteria, no virus comes near that home. And that is one of the ways to keep away from diseases. It is like putting a fence, like a security fence in front of your house to guard any insects, viruses, and bacteria. And if you do the same thing in front of your home, within few days you will know whether it is working or not. Similarly, whatever the Vedas scriptures are telling about God, there is a process. Bhakti, especially, there are different processes to verify the existence of God. There is Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Different processes are there. So you can study a little bit about these processes and understand at a high level about these processes. And whichever process you are inclined to, you can take up that process and start verifying. So you follow that process. You follow the process given in that particular scripture about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, and then see it for yourself. And whatever is mentioned in the Vedas, you will have realization of those things. The irony is that in the society, people, they only doubt and question on the authority of the scriptures and the what do you say? Basically authority. They question the authority of the scriptures, and they outright reject. Many people, they outrightly reject religion, God, and scriptures, saying that these are written by some man. These are all man-made. I don't believe in these things. The irony is that they don't put an effort to follow certain process given in the Vedas and verify if it is correct or not. So unless you adopt a process and follow it for some time and then verify, you don't have a right to doubt or question. Just like how we are accepting everything that the science tells. We don't even question. We don't even doubt. When a scientist says that the speed of the sun planet is 13,000 miles per second, of course there is a process to verify. But do we have the time to verify? Do we have the infrastructure to verify that? Do we have the knowledge to conduct that experiment by ourselves? No, that's not possible. But we are strongly convinced that it is verifiable. Sun moving at the speed of 13,000 miles per second, yes, it is verifiable. We have strong conviction in that. And the same thing, why we don't have strong conviction on scriptures is that we are not interested in following this process. And by the way, the process to verify God is much simpler than the process that is to be followed in science to prove things by ourselves. Now imagine if I were to prove that sun actually moves at the speed of 13,000 miles per second. How do I go about doing that? I do not know any scientists. Okay, let's say I somehow manage to catch hold of a scientist. I don't have the knowledge. I haven't studied science at all. I haven't studied physics. I haven't studied astronomy. Even if one of my close friends is a scientist, first of all, I don't have that knowledge to understand whatever my scientist friend is telling. So I need to start studying. I need to do a PhD in astronomy, in physics, all these things. Even if I do that, how will I verify? So it's not possible for everybody. It's not so easy. Everybody has a desire to do PhD in physics and astronomy, but how many of them can do it? How many PhDs are there? How many people who are experts in astronomy? How many of them are there? How many people in the society are able to travel to the space? Very few, handful of people. Whereas in religion, in spirituality, the process to verify things in the Vedas, the process to verify if God exists or not, they are very easy. We just need to follow the process. We need to have that initial faith. We need to start with that faith. Even if you call it as blind faith, so be it. Start with that blind faith, follow a process, and very surely you will have a realization of what is given in the Vedas. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshavaghamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. That word Pratyaksha Avagamam means you can understand this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, Rajavidya, the king of knowledge, by your own realization. Pratyaksha avagamam means you can understand this knowledge by your own realization. Krishna is not imposing some blind faith here. It is very scientific. It's very scientific. So let's move on with our slides here. So just like how science works based on observation. So talking about the origin of the universe, how did this universe come about? What's the source of the universe? Who created this universe? How did this universe come into existence? What's the origin of the universe? What's the origin of life in the universe? Questions like that. Science purely works based on observation, which is also known as faith, initial faith. So there are different theories in science to understand the origin of the universe, to understand who created the universe or how the universe came about. And we'll discuss those different theories and see if they make sense or not. But before that, it is worthy to note that within science, among the different scientists, popular scientists that we have, there are some atheistic scientists and there are some theistic scientists. Atheistic scientists means scientists who believe in God. Atheistic means scientists who do not believe in God. And theistic scientists means scientists who believe in God. So one day, Isaac Newton, who is a very famous scientist, we all know about him. He was sitting in his office and his friend stopped by to visit him. And his friend, he happens to see a beautiful miniature model of the planetary system on the table of Isaac Newton. And the friend asked Isaac Newton, "This looks very beautiful. Who gave you this? Who created it?" Then Isaac Newton, just jokingly, he said, "I don't know. I just opened my office today, and then I happened to see this beautiful model of miniature planetary system. It just came into existence randomly by itself." Then the friend started laughing and said, "Come on, how can such a beautiful miniature model of planetary system come into existence randomly and just like that, without somebody creating it?" Then Isaac Newton took that an opportunity to tell his friend, "Yes, you are right. Just like how such a small miniature model of planetary system cannot come into existence without somebody creating it. How can you believe that this gigantic planetary system, that the real planetary system consisting of all the different planets, they're all moving in their orbits so perfectly. How can anybody believe that such a gigantic universe containing this planetary system come into existence randomly without any creator?" So then the friend understood what Isaac Newton was trying to convey. So one of the theories that the scientists propose to talk about the origin of the universe is chance theory. Chance theory means just occurring randomly. The universe came into existence by chance. Now, does this make sense? Now, let's try to understand what are the fundamental principles of this chance theory. Chance theory means nothing related to this, the origin of the universe, the theory that talks about the origin of universe. We see this chance theory in many different areas of our life. For example, in cricket game, at the beginning of the game, what do? They toss a coin. And that's an example. That's a classic example for chance theory. When you toss a coin, there is a chance of having head or there is a chance of having tails. It's a perfect example for chance theory. So looking at the example of tossing a coin in cricket game, what are the fundamental principles there? The fundamental principles of chance theory are, it should be repeatable. It should be repeatable. The outcome may be random. Having heads or tails, that will be random. But the process itself should be repeatable. The process itself should be repeatable. Now, is there a possibility of repeating? Now let's come back to this chance theory to explain about the origin of the universe. When scientists are saying the universe came about by chance, can you repeat the process? Whatever may be the outcome will be different. Outcome will be random. That is chance. But the process itself should be repeatable. No, they cannot repeat the process. So, which in turn violates the principles of chance theory. So we cannot keep our conviction, we cannot keep our faith in chance theory to believe the origin of existence of God, existence of universe. Okay? So chance theory is not possible. So Newton said, yeah, Rohan, you had a question?
Yeah, I know you gave the coin example, Srini, that for chance it has to be repeatable. But why repeatable? Leave alone the coin example, but why it can still be anything can be by chance, not necessarily it has to repeat. That's what is my question. Thank you.
Now, anything that occurs in the universe by chance, it will be repeatable, either in your life or someone else's life. It will be repeatable.
Why?
Don't we see that based on our observation in the society? You take anything that happens by chance, anything that you believe that happens by chance in your life, don't we see the same thing happening in someone else's life also? At other time, may not be the same time, at other time, the so-called random things. Okay, getting a good job, by chance, randomly, without much hard work, getting a good job with highly paid income. If it is happening in our life, there's a reason why those things are happening, right? But let's say we assume that such things, such good things are happening by luck, by chance, and randomly. Don't we see those things happening in many others' lives? This is just one example. There are many things that are believed to happen by chance, randomly, or by luck. There are many things we see happening many times. Why doesn't it happen only one time and to only one person? The very fact that they are happening to multiple people multiple times since time immemorial indicates that it's repeatable. The so-called chance or the so-called luck or the so-called random, probability or random occurrence, it's repeatable. It's happening repeatedly. Do you
Sure, sir.
agree? Do you agree with this observation?
Yeah, partly. I'm not 100% clear yet, but I understood partly.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay. So Newton said this most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. So he's one of the theistic scientists that we have who believed in the existence of God. There was another scientist, I forgot his name, some Neil.
Galileo,
No, not Galileo. Some Neil Burrow or somebody who.
Niels Bohr.
Huh?
Niels Bohr. After J.J. Thomson, he told about the solar system.
No, the one um, who specialized in atoms, the study of atoms.
Yeah, Niels Bohr only. First, J.J. Thomson told watermelon theory, and then Niels Bohr came and told, and after that Kepler came. Sorry, before Niels Bohr, Kepler told it's a eclipse form. It must be rotating, and then I think later Niels Bohr told, okay, no, it's not eclipse. It's some other way, something like that. Kepler and then Niels Bohr.
Yeah, so Niels Bohr, once he was asked, because he's so specialized in the study of atoms, so he was asked, so what do you see, when you are studying these atoms? And this is what Niels Bohr said. In it, he used this phrase, in it. That means in the atoms, in it, I see the greatness of the creation and the greatness of the creator. So he's an expert in understanding the structure of atoms. He's specialized. He's very, very talented in that area. So this is what he said. In it, I see the greatness of creation and the greatness of the creator. So like this, we have many theistic scientists who believe in the existence of God. And further, Isaac Newton said, this being governs all things not as the soul of the world, but as Lord over all, and on account of his dominion, he is to be called Lord, God, universal ruler, and so on. So we understood that the universe cannot be created by chance. So creation implies creator. This is one of the ways to prove the existence of God. Creation implies creator. I mean, whether you name that person as God or something else, that's a different thing. But to make the discussion simple, let's call him as God. That means wherever there is creation, that means there is a creator. Creation implies creator. Whenever you see any beautiful thing, any great thing in the world, that implies a creator. You see a beautiful painting on a canvas. The very first question that comes to your mind when you see that beautiful painting, you will ask, it's very beautiful. Who painted it? We don't assume that it came into existence by itself. The first question that we ask is, who painted it? So creation implies creator. Whether you talk about the universe or whether you talk about any little thing in the world, wherever there is some creation, it implies a creator. And when we believe in the fact that there is a creator, there is a painter for a painting who has created the painting, how is it reasonable to say that there is no creator for such a sophisticated human brain, for example? The human brain is so sophisticated that a small cell in the human brain, the structure of a small cell in the human brain is more complex than the structure of a big city like New York. It's so complex. A small cell, single cell of a human brain is more complex than the structure of New York City. It's the most sophisticated thing in the entire universe. Human brain is the most sophisticated thing. Now, is it reasonable to say that there is no creator for this? No. And the capacity of the human brain is it can store more information than all the libraries in the world. The structure not only is complex, but it's more powerful. Okay, so if we are saying for a beautiful painting on a canvas, there is a creator. Now, why can't there be a creator behind this complex human brain and the intelligence of the brain? And then another method to prove the existence of God is when you look at different disparities in the society. Some people are rich, some people are poor, some people are beautiful, some people are not so beautiful. Some people are even born blind, some people are able to see, some people are born blind. Some people are working so hard while others are enjoying their life. When we see so many disparities in the society, and if we believe in the chance theory, the universe occurred by chance and things if the universe occurred by chance, so things in the universe also should occur by chance, randomly. Now, when things are occurring randomly, is it a fair thing? Somebody is so rich, somebody is very poor, somebody is born blind while other person is is enjoying all the beautiful colors in the world. Is it a fair thing? No. So who decides? Who decides all these things? There are disparities. There are certain things that we choose in life, like job, wife or husband, type of car, an apartment, and many more things. But there are many things that we don't choose. We cannot choose our parents. We cannot choose in which family I'm going to be born. We cannot choose how beautiful should I look. We cannot choose how handsome or beautiful, should I look. Our intelligence, it's completely given at the time of birth. We don't choose. If people have the ability to choose their intelligence, everybody will be an Einstein. We don't choose our birth. In fact, all the previous things also, where it is mentioned that we choose a job, a wife or a husband, type of car, an apartment. The ground reality is that these things also we don't choose. We put some effort to get these things. We put an effort to get a job. But what type of job we will get, that we cannot choose. Similarly, we put an effort to choose a wife or husband. But what type of wife or husband you will have in life, that's not chosen by you. So like that, in life, many things or almost everything we don't choose. There is someone else who is choosing for us. So who is making these decisions? Who is choosing for us? And on what basis? So if it is by chance, it's not fair. So when there are planets rotating in the orbits with utmost precision, if a planet deviates from its movement even a tiny bit, there will be big havoc in the solar system. So when we see such a precision order in the solar system, and everything is managed so perfectly, is it random? No. There are precise laws that are governing the movement of these planets. There are precise laws within the universe which are governing many things. There's a law of gravity. Law of physical haptics, law of thermodynamics. There are so many laws that are governing many things in the world. So when the material things, are being governed by these laws, how can such an important things like our birth, beauty, intelligence, who is born rich, who is born as poor person, who is born blind, and so on, How can these things are not governed by laws? These are the most important things. The other things, planets and all, we don't see those things, and they are beyond the scope of our comprehension and our ability to understand those. But what matters to me is my birth, my life, my intelligence. Hmm? So how can these things be random? There must be some laws governing these things also.
Laws that governs the laws, all laws.
Laws that
Yeah.
govern the laws.
Yeah, law that governs the laws.
Yeah.
Amazing. You hit the bullseye. Law of conservation, Boyd's law. So all these laws discovered by the scientists. By the way, they are not invented, right? They are discovered by the scientists. They did not create these laws. They just discovered. Newton discovered the law of gravity. He did not create gravity. Yeah.
So he only discovered it. So when there is a law, what does it indicate? There is a lawmaker also. Just like in Washington state, when there are traffic laws, that means there is a person who has created these traffic laws. Wherever there is law, there is a lawmaker. If there is a constitution for America, there is a person who has written that constitution. And when we see so many, universal laws like this, and when we say that it's all random, it's all by chance, that doesn't sound right. And we have another theistic scientist, Albert Einstein, who said there is a perfect brain behind all the natural physical laws. So law implies a lawmaker. So the first method to prove the existence of God is creation implies creator. Second method is law implies a lawmaker. Whenever we see precise universal laws governing movement of many things in the universe, or whenever we see karmic laws governing the destiny of people in the society, that means there are some laws and there is a lawmaker. And when there is a lawmaker, what is his job? The job of a lawmaker is to make the laws and also to ensure that the laws are being followed. A person who has written traffic laws, he will not only write the traffic laws, but he will also write what happens if somebody obeys or violates the traffic laws. And accordingly, things will happen. So lawmaker creates the laws and also maintains the laws. He ensures that the laws are being followed or maintained. Designer. When we see, a modern Boeing aeroplane, we are impressed by the design of it. How such a gigantic aeroplane body can fly, carrying so much of weight, carrying so many people, so much of weight, and it can fly in the sky, taking people from one place to another place. We are so impressed. undoubtedly it's an engineering marvel. And we strongly believe that there is a designer. There is a designer who designed aeroplane. White brothers. We all know the name of the person. But on the other side, if we see a bird flying effortlessly without spending any money, effortlessly, if a bird is flying, and we say there's no designer,
So sorry for that. No designer.
yeah, no designer. So, is it fair to say that there's no designer for a bird who is able to fly effortlessly? No, it doesn't make sense. There are so many, sophisticated things in the society, and there is a designer for everything. But when we say that there is no designer behind a bird who can fly effortlessly, or whales who can swim so beautifully, they can even dance, and there's no designer. There is a beautiful painting of a rose. The moment we look at the beautiful painting of a rose, the first question we ask, who painted it? But when we see beautiful flowers every day in our garden, and we don't even ask, who is that beautiful, who is that wonderful creator who created these beautiful flowers? And when scientists say this is all happening by chance, and there are people believing in that, is that fair thing? No. We have another scientist who said, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. Now today, quantum physics is progressing very rapidly. And scientists have conviction that one day science will prove whether God exists or not. Science will show, science will really reveal many facts about religion, God, all these things. Whether that is possible or not, the time only will tell. But according to this statement of Kelvin, what I think is, after a few years, the same scientists who are working so hard and achieving rapid progress in quantum physics, they will give up and they will say that let's all just believe in God. Let's have faith in God. Forget about scientifically proving the existence of God. Let's take a different approach. let's believe in God. Let's have strong faith in God, and adopt a process to verify that. Forget about this science and all. So I'm sure that will happen one day. So, and also we have other theories, right? So what's the time now? 7:57. So we'll talk about other theories in science to explain about the origin of the universe. So just like how we have chance theory, we have other theories, right? Big Bang theory, theory of evolution. Big Bang theory, what does Big Bang theory say? Big Bang theory says that this entire universe came into existence from a point density. From a point density which was subject to extreme temperatures of heat, and it exploded, and that's how the universe was created. And the same scientists who wrote this Big Bang theory, what the disclaimer they mentioned? They mentioned that, by the way, this Big Bang theory is physically undescribable and mathematically unverifiable. One of the fundamental things in science is that everything that they can prove in science should be verified by a mathematical equation. Everything. Everything in science has to be verified by a mathematical equation. Now, the Big Bang theory, the scientists who wrote this theory, in the very beginning, it's in the first few paragraphs of I started reading Big Bang theory long time ago, and then I gave up. After a few pages, I did not even have the patience to continue reading that, because it did not even make sense at all. In the very first few paragraphs, they wrote this disclaimer saying that this Big Bang theory is physically undescribable, mathematically unverifiable. Now, do we waste our time and energy and put our faith in a theory where they have mentioned that this is undescribable, unverifiable? No, it doesn't make sense to put our energy or faith in that cannot be even verified.
And especially dollars.
Yeah, so much of money.
Hard-earned money, so much money.
Yeah, not just time and faith, right? So much of money. Yeah. So, and the theory of evolution, Darwin's theory of evolution. Let's try to understand how, and no, one thing, going back to the Big Bang theory, right? Big Bang theory, it says the universe originated from a point density. This is the terminology they use, point density. Now, point density. Point means it's a so I'm trying to come up with the correct word. So the point and density, these two things are contradicting each other. The attributes of a point, singular point, and then density. These two things are contradicting each other. A point does not have a singular point, does not have density. But this is a terminology the scientists used. A singular point density, when it was subject to extreme temperatures of heat, then that point exploded, and that's how the universe was created. Now, let's try to understand this very, by a simple logic. If an explosion happens, let's say somebody wants to construct a building. In Bellevue downtown, somebody wants to construct a 20-story building. And those people who strongly believed in Big Bang theory, if they are inspired by this theory, they go and, buy some some explosive materials. Some explosive materials they put on the ground, and then they explode with a hope that it will create a beautiful building. Will that ever happen? If an explosion happens in the kitchen, will it cause nice dishes with some nice recipes, tasty and palatable dishes? No, it destroys the entire kitchen. So when scientists are saying that Big Bang is the origin of the universe, that's totally rubbish. It doesn't make sense at all. Now, chance theory of evolution, Darwin's chance theory of evolution. Darwin's chance theory of evolution, it was true in explaining how life has evolved from lowest species of life, let's say amoeba, to the higher species of life. From amoeba to a small insect, and from a small insect into a smaller creature, and then higher creature and animal, and so on. But according to the Darwin's theory of evolution, there is something called as missing link. The link between monkeys and human beings was missing. Until monkey, starting from the lowest species of life all the way up to monkeys, they were able to verify the link by the study of the structure of the bones or whatever. They were able to verify the link. So Darwin's theory of evolution made sense until that point. But this link was missing when they started studying the link between monkeys and human beings. Because according to Darwin's theory of evolution, human beings came from monkeys, right? So they started studying the structure of bones of monkeys, and then started comparing with that of human beings. They did not find any correlation at all. And in science, it was popularly known as the missing link in evolution theory. And after many, many years, something interesting happened. There was one scientist or one person who broke this barrier. So he proved, he came up with a link between monkeys and human beings. He showed a bone that can prove the link between monkeys and human beings. And everybody conducted studies on that bone, and then they all were convinced that this is a verifiable link between monkeys and human beings. And everybody was satisfied. After many, many, many years, this mystery of missing link is solved by this great person, and everybody celebrated. And you know what happened? Yet another interesting thing happened after a few more years. After a few more years, they figured out that this person, whoever brought this bone to show the link between monkeys and human beings, you know what he did? He got a bone of a human being, and then he cut some portions of it, and then he, what do you call, this saw machine, a saw machine to scrape the wood. Similarly, he used a saw machine to scrape the surface of the human bone. He did some gimmick. He did some gimmick and made all the scientists as fools, made them believe that this is the bone of a monkey, and this explains the link between monkeys and human beings. So they figured it out. After a few years, they figured out that this person cheated to gain popularity in the scientific world. And then again, it's back to square one. There is a missing link between monkeys and human beings. So Darwin's theory is not true. Darwin's theory of evolution is not true. If it is true, it should be true in all circumstances. It should be true between all species of life. So that was rejected. So everything, chance theory, Darwin's theory, Big Bang theory, every theory. Are there any other theories that anyone know? I think these are some of the popular theories. There may be other theories to explain the origin of the universe, but in general, these are the theories that are widely known. But the irony is that even till today in schools, Big Bang theory is being taught as the origin of the universe. So, so now let's talk about God. You know, you give some name, to this personality, who is the creator. Whenever there is a creation, that implies creator. Wherever there is a design, that implies a designer. Wherever there are laws, that implies a lawmaker. So we are just giving some name to that person as God. So now let's try to understand. What's the time, by the way? It's 8:10. Okay. So maybe we can pause. We completed about 40 slides. I have another 40 more. So I think we'll not be able to do justice in few minutes now. So we'll continue this discussion next week. So before we wrap up, any questions, comments, reflections? The purpose of this discussion is not to belittle the efforts of scientists, not to underestimate the power of science, not to not to lose hopes or faith in the material advancement. Yes, that's all needed. That's all is needed for this current society. We need some material sophistication. We are not living in rock age. We are living in the modern world. That means we expect some modern sophistication. So with all due respect to all the scientists who are working very hard, sacrificing their lives and coming up with so many advancement in life, providing so many comforts to us, still we have some unsolvable things that we need to understand. So that's the only, if at all it prompts you to think deeper, think out of the box, and start learning about the higher truth in a different perspective, then the purpose of this discussion is achieved. So okay, so with that I open the room for any comments, questions, or reflections.
So, during this discussion, Prabhuji, I was also having a question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even though there is a lot of problems in this world, um, um, and that problems are not at the peak. For example, even though everyone claims that they have nuclear bomb, right? No one is ready to drop it because they still have some sense. Okay, it's not the extreme. People have still have some sense.
Yeah.
So still looks to be someone is there to give that sense. I mean, maybe governing that sense. People have that sense not to destroy themselves with whatever the power that they think they have, like nuclear power. So there must be lawmaker obviously, I'm saying. Overall. Your screen frozen, Prabhuji? Oh, yeah. Now,
No,
okay.
they themselves are very fearful that what happens if they drop the nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
They are not as bad as the demons that we have in the scriptures, maybe. Like Hiranyakashipu.
The demons are powerful. They are powerful.
Powerful, of course. Yeah,
They
far
know.
powerful.
Yeah,
Not even comparable. Yeah.
yeah. So, but in the modern world, whatever they create, that is more powerful than the person who creates them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, for example, the OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, once he said, looking at the way how rapidly the AI is progressing, I'm very fearful what's going to happen in the AI world after 10 years or 20 years. He himself said that.
Yeah. Very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did not you did not cover in this one, right? Like the one thing you started, right? Your friend in Oman, he started. Then how do you approach other people with like what you know about, right, your religion and how you should approach it? Because I was listening to some other podcasts as well. Like God is one, right? Basically, all religions are also like going towards same path.
Yes.
Like somebody, some person, they were giving an example. Like you live in one place in India, they live in some other place. You don't know each other, but they also send a letter to a friend in Calcutta, let's say, and he is also sending. So they are also responding. You both don't know each other, but your path is same, right? You are reaching to the same person, or
Mhm.
the entire, like, God is one. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
So how do you explain such thing, like when some people, like other religion you mentioned, right, they are kind of giving their uh, advices and everything, like what they do, what they preach
Yeah.
versus what we do, right? So will you cover that, like, or like is it
Yeah.
like
We're going to cover that next week.
okay?
We
Okay.
haven't even started discussing about who God is, what's the definition of God. We haven't even started discussing. That we'll discuss next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good session, like very informative and very like scientifically you proved a lot many things in terms of like how the, like, all these universes formed, right? Basically all these theories, how they are how the propaganda was, right, how they proved, and it was without any scientific, without any equations or stuff like that, which really makes sense to believe them, right?
Yeah.
It's all like we don't know still, like the answer is we don't know, and we can only believe that there is God or some superpower which is doing everything in such a perfect manner, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if at all, this discussion uh, inspires us to think out of the box, and if at all this discussion helps us in educating our children also in a proper way, then the purpose of this course, whoever designed this course, their purpose is achieved.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, Rohan, you had a question?
No, I just want to thank, I think, Srini, this was very enlightening and further reinforcing some of the beliefs. And I'm looking forward for the next thing also. And I think the way you described science and faith, all of those things, I think that is a very logical way, I would say, coming from a rational background, to understand that science itself starts with the base of faith.
Yeah.
Without that, it's like all in the air, right? There is some hypothesis that is done.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely more wiser and looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Nishta, what about you? You have anything to say?
No, it was basically a great session. I'm still trying to absorb all the discussions that we had. And yeah, looking forward to next session as well.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. We'll see you all next week. Next week we'll have in-person class in the temple. If you are able to come, that'll be great. Otherwise, we'll have both online and in person both.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.